Hey everybody, I am so excited to be here. Look at our special guests, Agent Kim Fleming, and very newly taken on artist Paloma O'Toole. Please type in the chat where you are and your name. We'd love to see you. We have so much goodness. We have a giveaway. Paloma is going to give away a beautiful print of hers. Kim is going to tell us about her agent trip to New York this coming week. I am going to show you a little bit of the magic cards I just finished making for my kid book pitch in October. And then we have fabulous questions. The bulk of today is fabulous questions to ask Paloma that many of you put on Facebook from Bootcamp class, and also to look at her beautiful work. We're going to learn so much about her. But first, Kim, tell us about your trip.
So I'm headed to New York this weekend. I'm super excited. And on Monday, I'm going to be meeting with some of our favorite publishing clients. I'll be showing them this blurb book that I got printed up with all of our children's book illustrators in here. So beautiful examples from everyone in there. I'll be putting together some little gift bags in our lovely totes with lots of goodies for everyone. So we've got cards from our artists, all sorts of different artists will be included in here. So lots of fun things to give to them, and I look forward to talking with them about what projects they have. It's interesting as I've been communicating with the people I'm going to be meeting with, even people that I tried to get in touch with to make a meeting and it didn't work out for whatever reason. Quite often they'll come back to me and say, oh, but while I have you, do you have any artists who might be suitable for this project? So even just all these little interactions often lead to jobs, but also just to developing our relationships with these clients. So I'm really excited to see them all in New York and have a fun New York experience too.
What would be your dream if if one of the art directors or editors, I guess if they said, well, actually, we'd love to assign so-and-so for such and such.
Mm-hmm. Well, it actually sort of happened. Like I can't say anything about it because it's in negotiation, but when I was having one of these discussions over email, one of our clients came back to me and said, oh, I'm assigning this job right now. Who can you recommend? And it's a really amazing, awesome job. So hopefully it comes through. But that was just through having these interactions about something concrete. And it's just so nice to be able to meet our clients in person, after not being able to do that for so long. So I'm really excited to deepen those connections with them. And actually I'm meeting some new clients too. So that will be a lot of fun to start building some new relationships.
Yeah, you have to massage the accounts, as they used to say in sales. I think it's sort of pervy, but you have to keep the relationships going and connect, right, while you also connect with new people, which is exactly what she's doing. It's relationship building, and that's the fun part of being an agent is maintaining the relationships, getting to know people. I had a wonderful chat with Agent Susan, with one of our wonderful editors on Zoom this week, and just chatting and being friends. And oh, by the way, when I was agenting like daily, I felt like I talked to the client, the art director, the editor, whatever, like we're friends. And oh yeah, by the way, I'd love to show you this. Like, it's relationship, because people like to work with who they like to work with. People like to work with who they like. It's so much about friendship, really, being and you're naturally, as an agent, enthusiastic about your artists, like Paloma O'Toole, who we are so excited to represent. I mean, I knew I wanted to represent her for like such a long time in class, but we can only take on so many. I think we've I think we've taken on like 25 students from Matt's over the years. And we just went nuts over her work. I'm going to.
I will say goodbye so you can
Okay.
have your beautiful chat with Paloma. Have fun. Bye.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank
And
you.
Kim actually, of course, has Paloma's work in that beautiful book. Hello, Paloma. How are you, darling?
I'm very well. Thank you very much.
Good. Did you love all the questions on Facebook?
Yeah, my God. I am so excited to answer these questions. I was asking myself, okay, I've never asked myself this, so it's quite interesting. It helped me deepen into some meditation about my work, which you don't normally do. You just do the work and you don't think, why do I do this? Or why do I do that? So this is really cool.
I thought the questions were incredible. And, you know, I
Yeah.
tend to ask the same questions. I've been doing this a long time on these webinars with the artists. And I was like, you know what? I need fresh questions. You folks in boot camp asking these questions, unbelievable. I will use these. I'll screenshot them all.
I want to say hello to everybody, to Rachel, Marta, Christina, Romina, Ali, Greg, Danjana, Harpreet, Christina. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to see so many friends. It's all my friends, really. All my friends.
Yes.
Yay. And Nancy, yeah.
No, I love it too. I always just feel like, hey, it's just the gang. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Like I'm on
Exactly.
the international
Oh, yeah.
wide web. You know, it's just us. It's just us gals and guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about Paloma, and I learned some things myself today. Paloma was born in Cadiz. You say Cadiz?
Yeah.
In southern Spain, and grew up in Sevilla. Oh my God, the cat.
He has to come. He knows I'm nervous, so he comes to soothe me. It's my baby.
Oh, and don't be nervous. It's just your buddies in class.
My
Growing
baby.
up with an undiagnosed autistic spectrum disorder was both a blessing and a hurdle. And thank you so much for sharing that personal bit with us. We really appreciate it. The blessing side allowed her to create and live in imaginary inner worlds. The hurdle was dealing with noisy, overstimulating environments. How fantastic. I see yet another children's book that you write on that. I think we've talked about that.
Yeah.
For this reason, museums, libraries, and cinemas were small heavens for her. That interesting. How many of you can relate? As a teenager, she visited an exhibition about 20th century South American art where she found the work of Mexican painters Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera and fell in love with their styles. Inspired by this, she studied fine arts in Sevilla, which, by the way, I've been to and is one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
It's a good city.
And my son is nuts about Cadiz. He lived there for like a summer. And I told him, you know, that my artist Paloma's from Cadiz. She is. He's been to Spain 3 times and he's only 28. He's like past life with Spain, little side bit, but back to Paloma. Inspired by this, she studied fine arts in Sevilla and graduated with a master's degree in painting. Then she took part in several art residencies and many exhibitions across Spain. Her work features in several public collections, and she won the University of Sevilla's National Award for Drawing in 2000. With this award bounty, she wrote, your English is amazing, by the way. With this award bounty, she relocated to London, where she thought that getting a day job would be easier. She was right, and soon found herself juggling 3 jobs and living many adventures. One of her jobs gave her free access to every museum and exhibition in London, and she went into sponge mode. Oh, that's some good writing right there. Nice. Because what she did is, instead of saying which she delighted in or was wonderful or some boring adjective, but she turned it into sponge mode, which is visual, it's funny, it's cool, and it's a great metaphor for how her brain was operating. Nice bit of writing. But with little time and energy left for making art, life did not seem bright. And realizing this, she started shifting things here and there. There were some small changes first, but they kept on coming. What could they be? She had a vision to become a full-time artist, and she held on to that vision. Coincidences and casualties started happening, like finding Matt's courses through an Instagram friend. If you ask her, she will say she's living her best life yet. The best is still to come. P.S. She wishes the same for each and every one of you. What a beautiful soul, people. Am I right? What a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
Beautiful being. And I have the distinct pleasure of working one-on-one with Paloma on many of her projects. And we just chatted on Monday or Tuesday of this week.
Yeah.
And I love our conversations. And I did record it, as you know. So what happened was I didn't record it for the first few minutes. And then I'm like, oh my God, Paloma, this is so good. Do you mind? I'm going to record it. Can you start over and say everything about your book idea? Because then I put it into transcription and will include it either in the book I just wrote or in my third book, because I'm obsessed with talking to my artists and developing projects with them. It's a very exciting and inspiring topic. Okay. So I just want to show you a few things, if you don't mind. I'm just going to show you. I did new magic cards.
Oh, yay.
Look, and they're prettier. I made a background, and I had fun doing the shadows.
Yeah.
I have to show you this shadow for this one.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool? And you can just do it in Photoshop. You just move the shadow.
Yeah.
So anyway, you've got about 28 of those magic cards for those of you in there. You know, my kid book, that's the writing a picture book class. I just went and bought some new pens, and I'm really
fantastic.
and if may ask all of you, I'm going to do a free 5-part video series. And what I'd like to know is what you would like me to do it on. Free. It's on anything. So if you can type in now, and I think I'll make a survey monkey and put it out to all our followers and so forth. Do you want it on career success? Do you want it on emotional stuff like imposter syndrome and insecurity and things like that? Do you want it on how to write a picture book pitch, some tips, or tips on writing a nonfiction illustrated book, or what you need in a picture book pitch? Should I just say that? How to make a living as an artist, or my stories of my life and as they relate to some helpful tip. So do please type in, and if you don't mind, I really appreciate it, because what do you want me to tell you and help you with? I know a lot of things.
This is the beginning of your podcast, Lilla.
What's that?
This sounds like the beginning of your podcast.
No, Beth and I were talking, and I said, yeah, a podcast is in my future. And
I think so.
I just had the most wonderful call with that editor. You know, I mean, I can just pick up the phone and talk to like several hundred editors, art directors, creatives. Oh, this is good. I like to talk. They pay me to talk, so I'm very lucky. Let's see. So creative tips, imposter, nonfiction, how to get in front of an agent, how to make a living, imposter, affirmations, living stories, emotional stuff, magic tarot. Oh yeah, Christina.
It's a good one.
About your life, podcast, sponging in all the things for success. Says Greg, could you share your creative process, Lilla? How do you keep my cup filled? Jean Ruth, yeah. Yeah, imposter. Oh, this is wonderful. I'll screenshot it all and do that. Yeah, because I just want to do it, and it was Beth's suggestion. I'm like, sure, that's great. It's also great for marketing, you know. But and that's something all of you could do. Do a free like 5 video series, put it on Insta or whatever, of like how you do your art or whatever, I mean, we have so many opportunities, people. Never before have you had access to so many ways to make money. Like our lovely Paloma, she has, one of the reasons why I took her on, and I will let you talk in a minute, I'm sorry. One of the reasons I took her on is because she has an amazing picture book, work for children's picture books of kids, of scenes, of characters. She wrote a wonderful picture book story that she wrote and illustrated. We're working on a nonfiction illustrated book pitch that will blow your freaking mind. I want it now. She has home decor work. She has toy and game pitch work. She gives me, as an agent, material to work with, and Susan and Kim, agents here, something to show, to pitch, to get her work. We love a lot of artists, but if we can't get the artist work, nobody's going to be happy, right? And we need work. And sometimes we take on somebody whose work is clearly very commercial, and maybe it could be easier to sell. But sometimes we take on an artist who has such an individual vision, like a Paloma, but she got her chops. I mean, everything is so well, I should just show you the freaking work, for God's sake.
You're making me blush.
They're like, everybody's like, okay, enough chit chat, girl. Let me get you back in here. So I gotta get the chat up. Okay, good. And you can put questions in Q&A. I mean, look at this work. Look at this work. This is for class. You want to tell us about this, Paloma?
Yeah, this is for the bootcamp, and I've always been completely mesmerized by these analytical images of plants, and they get dissected, but you also have like X-ray vision, because you can see underground and see what the roots look like. And what the seeds would look like if you cut them in half. And I also love all the lettering that you see in this. So I love getting lost in old books, and I wanted to reproduce something that looked like an old book. And also the idea was to use the third letter of your name. So Paloma, my third letter is Lotus, but also Lotus has a lot of symbolism, because it's a plant that is born from the mud and comes out super clean on top of the water, but the origins of the plant are in the dirt under the very dirty waters of a very stagnant lake, and they are symbols of renewal and purity and things like that. Not purity from a weird kind of sense, but purity from the sense of leaving behind old baggage and letting go of things that don't make you grow. So I really like that.
Look, I have to show you this. I wear this pretty much every day.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
It's like a lotus pod, which I don't think I was thinking of when I made it.
It's so beautiful.
I love
Yeah,
it.
it's like a transaction of the seed pod. It's
So
beautiful.
related. It's absolutely beautiful. And look at her signature. She's had this for as long as I can remember down here, and it's beautifully drawn. It's a clear read, and there are 3 things, the 3 most important things in marketing and advertising: repetition, number 1, number 2, repetition, and number 3, repetition. In other words, every time I saw her signature, oh yeah, I like that artist. There's a lot of artists I see, but the more I saw it, the more I got used to it, the more it began to stick. So do use your name as part of your branding. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh my God, I see this one. I'm like gonna die. Okay, what's about this?
This is really fun because I have recently joined the British Library. So one of the things that you can do in the British Library is ask for any book that has been published in English since the beginning of time. And they can give it to you on a format that you will not destroy it. But when you join, they encourage you to read how to manipulate and turn pages of very old books, and also how to look at photographs because they have records of everything. So I wanted to replicate something like that that would look like it comes out of the British Museum, and it has been in a damp environment, but then it's been recycled, and so it has like loads of imperfections and things like that, and tears, and
How
I
do
love that
you do that?
texture. It's something you can do with Procreate. So you use a picture of a piece of paper and you put it as a screen on top of your work, and the texture comes through, and it lets you see your illustration underneath.
Beautiful. Plus, I could see you like getting some old books at a yard sale,
Oh yeah.
or if you don't already have, and scanning them in for the book you want to do.
Yeah, I actually go, I have a scrapbook, a junk journal, I call it, where I took all my notes from university. I wanted to dump all the notes that I had from university. So what I did was to put them in tea and coffee. I dyed them and then I write on top of them and I stick things on top of them. I can show you later if you want. But yeah, I have used those papers that I have stained myself to do the illustrations on, and use them as the image as a layer on the digital illustrations. I love that.
You know
I love playing with that.
what I love, everybody, is how motivated Paloma is. Like how she dyed the paper with the coffee, how she has her stuff, how she went to, she's going to the British Museum. She takes herself and her mind seriously. I had to learn that in the 70s, 1970s, at a time when we knew women didn't have a lot to offer. It was a known fact that women were not men. They did not have any. The reason why there are no famous women artists really, except like Georgia at that time, the thinking was, well, they don't have anything important to say. I kid you not. That's what they told my mother when she was taking painting at the new school, or maybe not the new school, I don't know where. And it just was a time. But even so, there are vestiges of that. We are taught that maybe our voice isn't quite as important, even if you're really feminist and so forth. I want you to really value everything that you think, everything you say. It doesn't mean you're right. Nobody's right. Nobody's always right. Nobody's even, we're mostly not, who knows, we're all just winging it. But I want you to value what comes into your head and your thoughts. And Paloma is modeling that for you.
Oh, thank you.
She is valuing her mind. Beautiful.
I take myself out for dates. Every week I try to take myself out on a date.
Yeah.
So I date myself.
And tell us about your dates.
Well, I normally go to places that are very exciting for me. Like the other day, I went for the first time to reading room in a museum called the Welcome Collection. It's a museum that mixes art with science. And there is a reading room there that is free, but it has lots of things going on. They have really nice cushions on the staircase, so you can sit on the staircase, take your magazines, and they have loads of picture books. So what I was after was the picture books, so I was reading picture books there, and it was fantastic. So yeah,
Inspire me. I'm thinking, this weekend I should go to like a museum at Harvard or something, which is down the street. Oh,
yeah.
inspiring.
And this one is for my the book I have written that started off with your magic cards in my pitch book. Started off this book. It started off with you remember, I don't know if you remember last year, I was creating a grandmother who was an octopus. And you said, that grandmother, why is she an octopus? Get rid of her. And I thought,
I did not say it like that.
No, you didn't say it like that, but you said, no, if you want to make it about the grandmother, it needs to be either the grandmother or the boy. You cannot have the two things. And I got rid of the grandmother in the end. But I am very happy to kill my darlings. If I create a grandmother that doesn't work, I'm happy to just let her go And
Now, I do love
Thank
An Octopus Grandmother, and I think that's a story with
yeah, that's a different story. Yeah.
children and grandchildren. That's a story. Maybe was it that there were two main characters? Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one started off with this kid that goes to I wanted to make it about gender and about gender identity. And I think I'm going to answer one question that I saw in Facebook. What was my favorite job or project? And it's this one, because this project has transformed me, I think. Because when I started this project was teaching me something about myself that I knew, but I was not really acknowledging, and it's that I am non-binary. And that's why I was feeling so passionate about this, and I wanted to have this book, and I wanted to make this book. And this kid was also finding out this. So I was finding out my non-binary identity as I was creating this book. And as I was talking to you, because sometimes you're on your own and you don't have anyone to bounce ideas back. But as I was talking to you, I was understanding more and more why this was so important to me and why this book mattered to me so much.
And the best books, even picture books, are when there's a portion of autobiography. It's personal. Don't just read a book because you want to get a picture book deal, people. I mean, yeah, that's a cool reason, but not the only reason. The reason is you have something you want to explore of yourself, something you want to share or help others like you, or something you delight in. It doesn't always have to be a teaching moment. Of course, it can just be like silly mind. I have one of my author artists who just got yet another book picked up that she wrote and illustrated. It's just hilarious because who she is. It's very, I'm almost about to say her. Well, can I say her name? Kim will yell at me. Sorry, Kim. No, she won't.
Always early to spill beans, but you can. Go on, tell us.
Well, I'll spill the beans if it's fine, but
oh yeah, of course.
Don't want a client to be unhappy that what they're doing, they need things. You may think we're being coy. We're not being coy. Those of you that are professional and working on a project, the client doesn't want you to talk about it because they don't want a competitor to scoop the idea and come up with something similar, which, I mean, really, the way this article is talking about her mind and
I think I know who you're talking about.
Send it to me privately in the chat. Okay. I just want to point out, could these kids be more lovely and beautiful, and the variety? Notice the little hearing aid too, the pigtails, this sweet little face, this with her beautiful hijab, pigtails. Okay, what a perspective is this? Yes, Paloma, you are correct. It was from our residency at the agency where I worked with about 14 of our artists on their books. It's a dream come true. Okay, tell us about. Well, can you tell us about this? Maybe not.
Maybe not. This is just a map.
Map, and it's beautiful. And how she showed. Look at the staircase too. The staircase. Look at the creatures, and the little key to what each thing is. It's fabulous. I know you worked on it before. You had a different kind of map, but it didn't. And look, it's the shape of a fish. She didn't have it really showing the building, and now it's more of the building. Yeah, the perspective
changes a lot. Yeah,
amazing.
Moved. Yeah.
Okay, this was like really pushing me over the edge on what I had to take you on. I mean,
this one is so fun.
I don't even know. I want to blow this up and put it on my wall. I want to be here. First of all, I've told Paloma a million times, this character is so adorable. She's a little bit funny looking, but that's not her view of herself. She's content and happy and joyful. those of you who saw the picture of me from 4th grade with my orange outfit and my cat eyes glasses, like I was a little funny looking. But I'm joyful in that photo. I'm okay. I think we can all kind of relate to that feeling, but I'm not even sure that's what you had in mind, but that's how I read it. And then the spiral staircase, are you kidding? With the different colored steps. Look at these geodes, and I have this crystal, the crystals, the herbs hanging. I mean, she gave 110 million%. Like, what is this, Paloma? Is that
That is like crystals hanging on top of a plate.
Is it for doing the
Yeah, they are pendulums.
pendulum? Yeah. I should try pendulum again. I haven't done that in a long time.
It's very good for meditation.
Yeah.
Asking questions, because the pendulum will, your mind will move the pendulum whatever way you want. If you don't know an answer, that is a great way.
Sacred geometry, says Allie. Look, there's palmistry, there's these fun tarot cards. Now, showing this, the Mystical Shop play set will take a very cool client to make this into a playset toy. I feel like they will. I feel like it's like 2 years ahead of its time. It's okay. 2 years goes by like that. But in the meantime, this can get her picture book work. This can get her puzzle work. This can get her, what other work can it get her? People chime in.
I accept all of those works. Yeah.
And all of those. Yeah. A
Yeah.
game board, so many things. And maybe they don't quite make a mystical playset, but they see the client can assign and say, we want a playset of this other thing. So you just have to show stuff. And then if you are ahead of trend, keep doing it, because time catches up to you. I know my whole life has been that. I'm like, I'm just going to be this kind of illustrator. I'm just going to be this kind of agent. I'm just going to be this kind of e-course teacher. I'm just going to be this kind of writer, and like, I'm wrong for a lot of people, but I'm really, really right for enough people to have my businesses. And I want you to all take that risk to be something special and unique. She did this, I took her on. So there you go. Okay. I mean, adorable. You want to tell us about these characters?
Yeah, these are the characters for Character Bootcamp. And I base them on kids that I know. Normally when I draw kids, I think of kids that I know, because I work 2 days a week as a teacher in a secondary school. So I still have a day job. I only have 2 days a week. And there are lots of kids that, well, they can be in year 12. That is like the second to last year, but they are children at heart. They can be super tall, but they are little kids. And they have really innocent expressions. So sometimes I see an expression in the kids that I teach, and I think, oh yeah, I'm going to try to get that vibe in my next illustration. And sometimes, because I'm an experienced teacher, when there are new teachers or trainee teachers, they ask them to teach my lessons, and I observe, give them feedback. So while I'm observing, I end up drawing the kids.
I just want to point out the rendering of the eyes are so unbelievable. So do you care to share how your gift of autism spectrum helps you in life or with your art?
Well, the concentration that I can get is insane. So I can dissociate, I can shut down huge parts of my being and just concentrating one thing 1,000%. So when I start drawing, I forget that I have to eat or go to the toilet. So I need to put myself some alarms, so I have breaks, and I just concentrate loads. And another thing that happens to me is that sometimes when I'm using colors, somehow the colors, and for me the visual part of colors and my taste buds are somehow connected. So sometimes it's like I am cooking when I'm painting, and the colors that I'm putting in have like a taste in my head. So it's almost like I'm tasting the painting that I'm doing. It's very weird to explain, but sometimes I think, okay, this needs a bit more of this color because I'm not getting the taste right. And sometimes I put like loads of candy-like colors, like in these flowers, and I think like, oh yeah, this is a nice flavor. I need something brownish in the background to balance it out. Yeah, so that is, yeah,
Synesthesia. Ginger says synesthesia. Is that synesthesia?
it might be. I don't know.
What's so interesting is that we're going to see over the years to come, we've got first people began to be aware of dyslexia, aphasia, then eventually ADHD,
Mm,
then autism. It was Asperger's, that is autism spectrum. We're going to find that there's like a jillion more
mm.
kinds of minds.
I think it's like a web of things that get interconnected, and then it's the same as when you lose a part of your brain. Apparently, when you get a part of your brain damaged, other parts of your brain grow to compensate. So you, throughout your life, you create lots of strategies to make up for the parts of you that are lacking. And it's like the whole body is like an orchestra that sometimes some instruments play a bit louder to help the ones that are struggling a little bit, I think so.
It's very true. In the book I'm writing, I say writing, I'm kind of done. No, I'm not really. Okay, whatever. I have a whole thing on disparate parts make genius. The variety of disparate parts that when you're young can feel like polar opposite, like the desire to hyper focus and the desire to go from thing to thing and not do anything, and to be organized but to space out, and very disparate. But once you can figure out to get them together, you have some real genius cooking up. Does that resonate with anyone? I do it in terms of astrology and astrological charts and houses.
Mm,
The whole thing on
yeah.
it.
Everything is so connected.
So unbelievable. I love, we can see your hyper focus on the eyes and the sensuality of the color. It's all making sense. I love
think the postures are like very, very much like kids that don't care about what's going on. They are very unaware of what's going on, and they just throw themselves into things.
they
I'm
throw.
not like that, but I would love to be like that. So it's a feeling that I chase
I think
to have that.
I think you're pretty close to that.
I hope so. I hope I get closer and closer because it's such a good thing to just live in that bliss of being a kid again.
People, it's just so fascinating. Aren't you just loving this? Now you know why I love to talk to her on Zoom all the time, have our little chats. Susan McCabe, agent at my agency, went nuts over this piece.
Oh,
Finds it incredibly original and, I mean, magical, of course, is the word that comes to mind, and beautiful character, really pretty. What was this for?
this is a story. It's a legend, a Japanese legend about a man who falls asleep and a yellow butterfly comes out of his mouth. And then he wakes up and sees that there is a king coming towards him. The king takes him away, marries him to his daughter, a princess. They live very happy, long life. She dies, and then the guy, the king, kicks him off his island, and he goes back. But when he goes back, he just wakes up, and his friends say, "Oh, you've just been sleeping 5 minutes. You haven't been gone for 40 years." And we noticed that a yellow butterfly came out of your mouth and then came back. But the yellow butterfly was kidnapped by some ants and put them in their nest. So they dug up the nest and they found that there was an ant that was like a princess ant that had died. And the guy had gone and lived with the ants for 40 years as a butterfly. And I thought, wow, that's such a cool idea. How different time, because sometimes you fall into a time loop and you think, where did the day go? It felt like 5 minutes. And sometimes you stay in one thing and you do it for hours and hours and hours. And you wake up and you think, oh, wait, it's only been 2 hours. How did the time go? What happened? And I really like the idea of how the universe has weird different timelines and different dimensions and things like that. And I thought to make this for last year. Was it Folktale Challenge in Instagram?
Oh, okay, folktale.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Oh,
the aunt holding on to her husband butterfly, making sure that he doesn't go away. So he's tied him with a
beautiful.
cord, and the cord has a little bell on the end.
Oh, yeah.
And he escapes.
So beautiful. Okay, I'm going to go through because I want to get to these questions in Facebook.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah.
This one, this was earlier work of
Yeah. This
beautiful.
one I'm giving away, so I have it ready over there
This is
to
weird.
send it to a lucky one.
Okay, yes, this is the giveaway. Oh, how wonderful. It's
Yeah.
really fun to see my stuff. Like, I remember when I put these things out for you, all these little, and then to see how they're utilized, this postcard, this little Capricorn metal thing. I think Patty gave that to me. Patty at the
So
studio.
this project got me loads of very profitable jobs
It did
because
like what?
like I worked for HP, for Hewlett Packard. They hired me to do several games. So I did games for them before I joined the agency. I
Oh,
did several lessons for Hispanic Week. I also did a treasure hunt for Halloween and a game.
my God.
I did another treasure hunt for Easter and a different game with cards and clues.
Oh,
So all of that happened during the pandemic, and it was really good because it was for kids who were stuck at home and they could just dress up with things that they had around the house.
Unbelievable. I'm going to tell British Jenny to talk to you about the work you got from that. Okay. Okay. This is so, I mean, so I fell in love with this child, such a beautiful child. This was done for my kid book pitch. Just great. And look how she uses the face really pops. You know, we keep going, our eyes go from here to here to here to here. But the face is so graphically compelling and light against the dark background. Really beautiful. And here's more. You always want to show poses in a pitch of your main character. So here's jumping up, here's clutching a book with wide eyes curious with an octopus suit, which is very original, and the little octopus shirt. The light on the face looking at the book is extraordinary. And then this little scene in the hand pulling out is, I mean, this alone, I could see this as a cover of a book. It's so fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really great. And then this one, this was an earlier piece, and I saw this and thought, keeping my eyes on this one, this person, the lighting. She has a special ability to get the lighting so extraordinary, really something. And then these, I mean, the anthropomorphizing of the octopus to turn it into a character so believable as a character. I mean, it's hard to imagine that it can't do these things with these emotions. And then the pretty decorative pattern is a nice touch against the realism and the rendering and the very, very careful rendering. This was also for class,
Yeah.
Cleopatra story. And here she used a lot of empty space in a way that, but you feel it's very atmospheric, right? You get a sense of the window is open. You can almost feel the cool air coming in. At least that's what I get, the night air. And the hieroglyphs and the paintings in the background suggesting Egypt. You know, she doesn't hit you over the head in a kind of cliche way. There's a pyramid in a distance. There's this kind of motif, and these motifs, but also how her hair is Cleopatra-esque, just sort of a subtle nod to Cleopatra. Really great. This was an earlier piece. Oh, Jenny wrote this one.
Yeah,
Jenny, yeah.
yeah, that was such a fun book.
Yeah, the woman behind the bus. That
Yeah.
was really good that she did that. Okay. And another fantastic character, the imagination of the volcano behind and this neck thing that's like Renaissance era, the gauzy fabric you can see through, quite extraordinary. I know I'm rushing, but I want to get to
Nice.
the questions. More of Paloma's the bus stop story. And it's a little more flat graphic. That's okay. She has different looks. I get that. And that's okay. You can have different looks under two conditions, people. Write this down, that they are very well evolved, and either one could stand on its own. And number two is that you have enough of them. So that if somebody hires her for this isn't the only piece in this style. They see that she can do this kind of look. It's okay because a client might want this for some reason or the other stuff for some reason. That's okay. I had the same drawing style, but different media. I had Pantone cut paper, I had brush and ink and watercolor. I had pastel. I had full on oil and acrylic, but it was all in my drawing style and my lettering. So, because, I get bored. I like new things. Now, here we have very different from this one, which is a very evocative, moody narrative. It's storytelling about the buses were empty, the strike, do not ride the bus on Monday. And then here we have a very playful, very marketable kind of piece for toy. This is for the toy class. Tell us about this one.
This one is also for Halloween. Halloween is my favorite one.
Of course. And I really want you to do oracle cards. We've taught you.
I really want to do them. Yeah.
We'll make it all happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. And then this, I was really glad to see this too, because bright colors, happy bright colors, do not shoot the messenger, but they sell really well. Because if you are a manufacturer and you're spending a ton of money on product development, product design, getting art for it, getting it manufactured, marketing it, advertising it, distributing it, getting retailers to buy it, you want it to sell, and people like happy, bright colors most of the time. I know we're cool and we would like buy this in a heartbeat, and there is a market for it for sure, like the mystical, oracle-y, or maybe a book cover, a literary marketplace might buy it. But this alone isn't enough for me to take on an artist. Adding this to her body of work tells me that she has range of mood, very important. But this alone might not have been enough. When I saw this, that sealed the deal. You see? So either one alone maybe was enough, but together it's undeniable. Okay, and I will stop the share so that we have time for questions. So we have a lot of questions in that Facebook group. Should I just ask you some, or did some come to mind? Or maybe I'm just going to start in order, and you can say yes or pass, and I'll go to the next question.
Okay, I'll be brief.
Okay, yeah, really short answers.
Yeah,
because we have about 15 or 20. Susan Faye Carr, I would love to know how much she relies on intuition versus analytical thought in her artistic process. Her work is so ethereal and imaginative, but also seems very well thought out. Also, does she dream in English or Spanish?
I dream in English. I think in English. And I rely on intuition. But then I use analytical thought to see how I can put it together.
Beautiful, beautiful. Harpreet Sahney, who I see is in here. Do you start on the iPad or do you sketch out on illustration board or in paper?
I start off in the iPad. I got used to it and I really like it.
Everything iPad.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. You make me want to pick mine up again. Angela Caldwell. I'd love to ask her how she found her style. Did it come naturally, or did she have to work at sticking to a look?
I refound my style because I had a style when I was studying in uni. I'll show you a painting that I did, and it looks very similar to what I do now.
Oh my God,
So
that's
this is like quite big. It's a self-portrait. It's hanging in my mom's house. And what I did was remember that I that's what I like doing. And I just remembered Frida and Diego, and I thought, let's go back to that because I like that. That's my roots.
you weren't doing that. You were doing something different. What were you doing?
Well, I was working on flatter colors, and what you were showing in the work of the bus book, you remember the woman behind the bus. It was more flat colors. It was less defined. And in that book, I started realizing that I could go back to that, and I started rediscovering that style,
The
the
rendering, the shape, the molding,
atmospheric. Yeah.
which I love. Yeah. Okay. And then Angela Caldwell says, do you have a mission statement to define your style? I.e., Adam Ming has a description of humorous and textural to define his style.
Mine is it makes me happy, then okay. If it's gonna make me smile, then I go for it. For any reason, makes me giggle a little bit, then it's good.
I love it. I want type in, people, what your mission statement is of your work. And thank you for the question, Angela.
That's such a good question.
I told you this before. I think for my book, as I was writing it, I was like, I have two metrics. I call them metrics, measures, not a mission statement. Did I delight in writing the piece that I just wrote? And is it helpful?
Mm.
That was for me, my metric for a book like that I was writing.
Mhm.
Good, good. That's so beautiful. Okay, next question. Rachel Emberton, I see that, like myself, Paloma studied fine art, not an illustration course as such. I'd love to ask Paloma if it was a natural transition to move into illustration work after studying fine art, and how did she find herself going in this direction?
Basically, I was always told that my style was very illustrative, and I was almost told off for that, and I didn't care. So I think I was always an illustrator, pretending to be a painter.
When I was in fine art school, they're like, yeah, your work's really illustrative, like that.
Yeah.
And then when I was in illustration school, yeah, your work's very fine art. But it's sometimes good to straddle two worlds, but you have to push harder.
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, Romina Rohauser, good to see you again, Rohauser. I'd love to know which is her dream project.
Oh, I would love to cuddle my Alex book one day and see it in the shops
You
and
see,
shout, "This is my book, everybody!"
and then for book readings, and you'll be able to do that in two languages. How nice.
Oh God.
What psychic vision do you see for your future? Like is that it? The book, seeing the book in the shops? What is the most powerful vision you've gotten psychically?
So yesterday I went out with my friend in London and I saw loads of artwork by a French artist. I forgot her name right now. And I kept on seeing her in all our favorite shops. And I thought, this is what I want to see, walking a place and see that I am everywhere and that my work is making people feel as happy as we feel with holding her cups and saying, oh my God, how did she come up with this? This is so cool. I want to do something like that. And I want to basically go into a bookshop and have parents come to me and say, your book was so good for my kid.
But yeah,
That,
because your books are so good for kids.
that's what I want.
Okay. Let's see. Jürgen Kunst von Katja says, what is your dream project? Are you finishing your tarot cards and putting them into production?
I really want to do them, but I
Yeah.
have 2 ideas for 2 tarot, so we need to talk, Lilla.
Okay, book me.
Yeah, I'll book you.
Yeah. Let's see. What kind of work did you do before this?
I have many jobs. I worked as a waitress in a cocktail bar. I worked as a waitress in a museum. I have worked as a teacher for adults, teacher for kids. So
Yeah.
I've also worked, my first job was as a illustrator for a forensic doctor. I only worked 1 day and I just gave up because it was too scary,
Creepy.
creepy.
Well, you think you would like that though, but it's too real.
Yeah.
That's too upsetting. How many ideas, Jürgen Kunst von Katja asks, how many hours a day are you drawing?
I cannot even tell you because
All the time.
sometimes it's not about drawing. Sometimes it's about recovering from drawing, and sometimes I just sit down and I stare through the window and ideas come to me. So as part of the process as well.
Right.
So it's not only the drawing, it's all the things that you do to keep yourself motivated. And yeah, I think I'm doing it all the time.
What's that?
I'm always like
Doing it. You're always
in that kind of, thinking and thinking about things. Sometimes you put things together in your mind.
absolutely. Okay, I'd like Claire Martin. I'd like to ask Paloma how she approaches a project. Does she have lots of ideas and tries a few out first before deciding which one to go with, or does she have a definite idea from the start and stick to that?
I write a lot. When I want to do like a big project, I write. Like for the book, I wrote a lot. And sometimes if I have a big project like the ones I did for HP, I write a lot. I sit down and I just think. And then when I have those ideas, I get into a mood and I know what sort of mood I am in, put together a color palette, and then I move on from there.
So you kind of
And
prepare.
I general idea of what I want to do.
So you do preparation of different ways before you get to the iPad.
Yeah.
Okay. Laura Pigot, I'd love to know how Paloma finds time for her illustration with her full-time job. Is it but it's part-time, right?
It's part-time, and I also have a very dirty house.
Have a
So
what?
I have a very dirty house. I don't do any chores.
House. Right. Yeah.
I cut corners.
Do you want to be known for your vacuuming or your art?
No, vacuuming is not really a priority in this house. We have a very strong immune system in this house.
Good. Does she plan pockets of illustration time and does she sleep?
I do sleep a lot and very well. Thank you.
And you find you need my husband and I need a good solid 8 hours and then a nap once a week, a good 2-hour nap once a week to catch up, maybe more days.
Yeah, I need to sleep with my cat. So I have a cat in my neck. He sleeps on my neck, and another cat between my knees.
Do you feel that you need a lot of sleep?
Not really. I need my 8 hours.
8 hours.
I also need to do yoga every day. So I go to my yoga studio every day. We do different types of yoga over there. And that is like better than sleeping. It just makes you release everything. It's like cleansing.
Yeah. When I do yoga, I do need less sleep. It's true. That's wonderful. And I'm glad you're all hearing her techniques for maintaining this. I've talked before, your mind is part of your body. You have to take care of the whole being. Good. I love that you do that. As your agent, I love to see that you have good lifestyle habits that will sustain you for a long career. No agent wants to work their butts off to introduce someone in the market, get them, build up their brand, their career, to just have them burn out.
No, I always take a day off a week. 1 day off to be an absolute slob. I am on the sofa. I lie on my garden with my headphones on. I put incense on. I invite my husband to make me cups of tea. He always agrees. He's very nice to me. We order pizza.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
Just
that's so great.
relax.
Wait, will you
Yeah.
do me a favor? Like, we book me also, well, keep booking me. I
Yeah.
want you to do a book on this, how to be a brilliant artist, how to get the message
I
through.
need to be one first, Lilla.
Okay, or whatever, how to have a lifestyle beautifully
Yeah.
illustrated, how to do these things that you do, the yoga studio. So start making a list of
Yeah.
your agents,
I
just start
think,
making
yeah.
a list of the different things that you do. Okay,
Drink water. Yeah.
drink water, and now here we go.
Important. Yeah.
Muy importante. Okay, let's see. Rachel Devlin, I think I would like to know what was Paloma's first reaction to when you offered her representation?
I cried hysterically. I did cry. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. You know when you see the Miss Universe and they do it kind of fake, but I was like for real. I was like Carrie when she gets, Carrie the movie with the telekinesis. Well, I'm not like her, first of all, but when she gets the queen of the prom, up to that part, not the telekinesis part. But yeah, I was really happy. I was so happy. Yeah.
But did you have a sense that I might
Yeah,
take?
because you did send me a message on
Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah.
and you said, "Can you make your colors lighter?" And I thought, "Why?" And I said, "Yeah, I can." And then I started using lighter colors, and then because I was interested in making light. I wanted to see if I could make light without the contrast of the dark colors, and I've been working on that.
Yeah, because you had a lot of dark work, which I love. And I didn't want you to have that, but you needed the full spectrum
Yeah,
for me to take you on.
yeah.
The lighter work, it's just more marketable,
Hmm.
except as we said, like for Oracle cards or, but look at the number one selling tarot deck, which is tarot deck, super bright colors,
Yeah.
10,000 reviews or whatever it is.
Mm.
Okay, Jan Schmidt, love Paloma's work. How does she choose a color palette?
Well, sometimes I take pictures of things in nature. The other day I saw a bunch of fruits in my friend's allotment, and I took a picture and then I turned it into a color palette in the iPad. You can do that.
Wait, friend, you saw fruit where? Your
A
friends?
fruit in a friend's, well, here in England, you can have a plot of land to grow vegetables, and lots of people do that. So the town gives you a plot of land, and my friends has one. So we went there, and there were these very beautiful plums. So I took a picture of them, and I used the color palette for that.
Nice.
Because it's the idea. It's because of you. You do that in maths. You say go around and pick things from your house that you like, that speak to you. So there's a lot of inspiration in your surroundings that you can draw from. So I use that,
Right.
like your shirt, for example. That is a nice color palette.
This is the color of 2023, people. I'm telling you here first. This is the color. You're going to see more. See the chairs? I got those years ago, but they're very rare to find that color. It's pretty close.
Yeah,
This is going to be a big color.
nice.
That's my vibe. Okay. I would love to know. Okay, so our Armagero Sodell, I would love to know which project she loved the most to work on and why. And maybe your favorite maths assignment or any project.
So my favorite course was the book pitch when I was doing the Alex book. And the Alex book is my favorite project I've worked in. It was so challenging, but also so rewarding.
Yeah.
When I finished it, I felt really good. I
Uh,
finished the pitch, I felt really good with it, and I felt very happy with it.
it's
So yeah.
it's incredible. And the thing is, when I always know when I was an illustrator and now doing courses, writing courses and books, when I'm really in this glowy, magical place. When I make the piece, that's how I know it's good. I don't always know after
Mm.
by looking at it or reading it. And I usually don't even go back and look. Am I writing? I just know, like, I loved writing that assignment for class. And then that's how I know it's probably good. And that works for me. Same with the art. Okay. I'll stop talking so much. Lila Sa asks, I would like to know, oh, right, we talked about that. Oh, we got through them all. Boom.
Yay.
Boom, boom. We did great. And I think there are 2 questions in the chat, and then we have a giveaway. I mean, in the Q&A, where'd you go? Oh, down here. Okay. Q&A, Susan McCabe. Hey, Susan, I saw that you're here. That's good.
Oh, Susan.
Because I was talking about you in the beginning. My missions, oh, she put it, okay, so Susan, the Q&A is for questions and the chat is for comments. So I don't think this is a question, but she
Okay.
says, my mission statement is to help the artists I rep blossom in their work. Ooh. They all draw better than I do, but they inspire me every day.
Oh,
And Susan McCabe again says, I hope to make your Alex book dream come true.
oh,
That's the
oh,
beauty.
Susan.
They maybe they get as much joy out of, maybe not as much as the artist, but we get a great deal of joy getting artist deals.
Yeah, because they are our babies, those books. It's everybody. It takes a village. It takes an agency.
Yeah, and we can do what we can do.
Yeah.
And to help, it's a gratifying feeling, and you just make gorgeous work and we'll do the rest.
Oh.
Beautiful. Okay, we are ready for the giveaway. Do you want to show the poster? Do you have
Oh,
it?
yeah. The poster is here
Yes.
and it's up.
Anyway,
It's an A3 poster of my comic.
did you send me something in the mail once? Did you send me this?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Anything. I feel like I own that. It's weird.
Really? Oh.
Maybe I
So
printed it.
yeah, I
Well,
can
anyway,
send it to you if you want it.
yeah.
Send you a copy. Yeah.
That is that's what you'll win, and here's how you win. So we are going to reveal the category. Guess as much as you want, as many times as you want, and Kim will pick the first one that she sees. It might not be the exact first one. So the category, Paloma picked the category and the answer. Animal. Animal. Yeah, octopus makes sense. Cat makes sense.
No.
Oh, I thought it would be easy. Oh, I love it. They're answering all the kinds of things you love to draw. This is so cool, man.
Yeah,
It's
they're
on the
all the right
background.
answers, just
Yeah.
not the
It's on the
one.
background of my.
Squid, sloth, elephant, cat, bird,
Axolotl, that's a good one.
whale, bunny, crocodile, mouse, butterfly, toucan, gecko, peacock, hamster, cat,
Yes, I saw one.
Oh,
turtle.
you did? I missed it. I was
Josie.
reading Greg's comment
Josie.
saying this is moving at a very respectable pace, and you're right.
Josie Mason?
Said
Macy?
turtle.
Yeah.
Maisie, turtle.
Yeah.
Okay, Josie.
I have a turtle here. I use it to clean my iPad with his belly. Because it's a microfiber belly. It's really good.
Put that in your book of tips.
Yeah.
Lifestyle.
To clean your, yeah.
So that's great. So Josie, please email me. I'm putting my email address in the chat. It's kim@lillarogers.com, and we'll organize for your prize to be sent out to you. Congratulations.
Yay. Thank you, everybody. This was really wonderful.
I really enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Oh, there I go. I was getting polarized. This is really wonderful. I love being with all of you. And I will see Bootcamp people, I think, with the last week in August. And thank you so much, Paloma, for being with us.
And
Really.
thank you to you and to everyone who came along. Thank you so much.
You're a very
So,
fascinating, brilliant woman, and it's great to
oh,
be your agent. So I
oh,
enjoyed this
thank you.
immensely. Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
next time. Take
Bye
care.
bye. Bye.